Hey y'all, so y'all been wanting a tutorial for this hat, so today I'm gonna give it to you and we jumping straight into it. So the first thing you will need is your 4.5 needle and 3 colors. The 3 colors I've chose for today are Pale Peach, Cherry Blossom, and Ivory. Now let's get started. First row we're gonna work on is this color. So you're gonna take your dominant color, and I'm gonna go with my Cherry Blossom, and I'm going to chain 46. You're gonna go ahead and make your slip knot. And this tutorial is for people who already know how to crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once I have my 46 chains, I'm gonna go in the 3rd hook from the first chain, and do a double crochet. So we're gonna skip 1, 2, and we're gonna go into that 3rd one and make a double crochet. And now you're going to make 1 double crochet in each chain all the way to the end. Okay, now I have 2 stitches left, and I'm going to go ahead and do 1 double crochet in that second to last one. And in that last stitch, I'm going to take my needle like I'm about to do the double crochet, but I'm not going to complete it because this is when I'm going to change colors. So I'm going to have the 3 loops. I'm going to pull through 2, and with those last 2, I'm going to get my new color. So my next color I want to be Ivory. So I'm going to take my Ivory, and I'm just going to pull it just like that, and then pull it through the 2 loops. And then I'll just close the previous row with this yarn. But I'm not going to cut it because I'm just going to continue to go up because I hate sewing and weaving in those ends at the end. So once I got my second color attached, I'm going to chain 2, turn my work. Okay, so I have my chain 2. I zoomed in so y'all can see a little better, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to just drag this string all the way down just so I don't have to weave in my ends at the end. So once you have your chain 2, go ahead and do you a double crochet in that first loop. So you might have to pull it down to see it, but that's it right there. So do your double crochet in that first loop. Then I'm going to pull this back up so I can see. And then you do a double crochet in the next one. And I'm holding on to this string as I go along. Double crochet in the next one. And then we just want to do a double crochet in all the stitches back to the end. So I'll meet y'all back when I'm done. Okay, so as you can see, we have 2 chains left, and we still have our string that we've been dragging. So I'm going to go ahead and do my last 2 double crochets. But remember, on that last double crochet, you're not going to complete it. You're going to go into the chain, pull up the 3 loops, pull through 2, and we're going to take this string that we've been dragging, and we're going to swoop that around and pull that one through instead. So we're just going to leave this white hanging, just pull it to tighten it, then take your dominant color and chain 2. Then turn your work and do a double crochet in that first stitch. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take this color and we're going to drag it all the way back down, just like we just did the dominant color. So go double crochet in the next stitch. And in the next. And you're going to do a double crochet all the way down to the end of the row. So I'm going to cut off here. You're going to do a total of 14 rows. So you're going to go back and forth, changing colors until you get to row 14, and then I'll meet y'all back. All right, y'all, we have finished our 14 rows of double crochets going back and forth. And it actually goes this way, darker color at the bottom, and then you will end on your lighter color. So now we have done this part of the hat. Now we're going to work on this side. So now you just have to choose what order you want your colors to be. So I'm still going to make my dominant color this color because it's the majority of the color. So the next color, I think I'm going to do the lighter color and then the white, well, the ivory. So we're going to start off with a chain. Let's put this back here. Okay, so back to our dominant color for the second row. We are just going to chain 28. And once you chain 28, you're going to do a double crochet in the third chain from the hoop. So that's 1, 2, and that's 3. And then you're going to do 1 double crochet in the remaining loops all the way to the end. And then I'll meet you back at the end of the row. We've crocheted all the way down to the end. And now you just want to take that piece and hold it up against that and make sure it is the same length. And mine is, so I know that I'm doing it correct. And you can also stretch on it a little bit if it's not perfect. So now you're going to chain 2. Turn your work and do double crochets in each stitch all the way back down. So I'm just going to show you this real quick. This pattern, I really don't even have to go through it with you, but I'm going to just go through the first set and then I'll let you go on about the end. So it's 2 double crochet rows, a half double crochet, and a single crochet. So let me go ahead and finish my second double crochet row and I'll meet y'all back at the end. Okay, so now we are at the last stitch at the end, and I have 2 loops on my hoop. I was starting a double crochet, but because I am changing colors, remember, I am going to finish this second color off with my double crochet. And I am going to chain 1, turn my work, and I'm going to half double crochet all the way down the row. So don't forget that first stitch. And do a half double crochet stitch in each loop. And I'll see y'all at the end of this row. Okay, so I'm at the last stitch for my half double crochets, and I'm going to go in my last loop, but I'm not going to pull up. I'm going to add my third color to close off that half double. Pull tight, chain 1, turn your work. And now we're just going to do single crochets all the way down till we get to the end. And this is where I am going to leave y'all and come back because it's common sense at this point. I'm just going to actually drag that tail in just so I don't have too much going on. So I'm just going to do single crochet in every stitch. And I'll be right back to send y'all on your way. Alright, I have 1 more single crochet at the end. So I'm going to do it as normal. Go in, pull up my 2 loops, but don't close it off. And bring back my dominant color and close it off. So now this is where I'm going to leave you because now it's just a repetition. 2 double crochets, a half double crochet, and a single crochet. And you are going to do that until you reach row 18. So just continue that pattern until you get to 18, and then I will meet y'all back. Chain 2, turn my work. And continue. So I've done the other side, and as you can see, it looks beautiful. So now this side is actually going to fold over, and it matches this side. And so this will go right here. And then we'll add the charms, but now we have to cut all these strings off this second piece. And as you can see, I did drag most of them up and carry the yarn, so it's not that much. I only have like 3 or 4 ends to cut. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut all this extra yarn off. And then I'm just going to save probably this last white since it's right at the corner, and I want to sew this all the way up. Well, no, I have it wrong. Sorry. So I had it upside down. But still, I want to keep that yarn at the end, the white yarn at the end, because I'm still going to sew all the way up on the other side. So let me go ahead and sew that up. All right, so let's go ahead and get this white yarn. And we're going to do a little knot So we're just going to chain, and then I'm just going to leave a tail. Too long. And because the knot is on the other side, I'm just going to flip my hat. It's just easier to sew that way. So I'm just going to sew these two sides together. Okay, so I have my needle threaded. And as for sewing, you're just going to go up in each stitch on this side and just find you a stitch on this side. So we're starting on this one, and then we're just going to go to this other side. I'm just going to stick it right there at that corner. So this is just a back and forth motion. So then I'll go in the second stitch on this side, and then I'll find a stitch on this side, just anywhere that looks kind of open. But I'll make sure you don't get them confused. That's the thread that needs to be cut. So I'm just going right there. I do have it inside out, so that way. Then you're going to go back through the other side, the third stitch, pull, and then you're going to find somewhere on this side to go through. Okay, so you're just going to do that all the way up until the top, until you run out of both sides, but just kind of make sure they're kept even. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and I'll meet y'all back. All right, I got my sides sewn up. So now all I have to do is flip it around, get another piece of yarn, and sew that down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then you're also going to sew the top. So that's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to go in each loop on both sides. And then you're going to find loops on this side as well. And go through those. So I'll meet y'all back when I have all of this sewn. Okay, so I have all my sides sewn up. I have the front, the top, and the back. And I'm going to weave in those ends later. Not a necessity because it would be an inside. So now all I'm going to do is put a single crochet border around the bottom of this whole thing. And that'll kind of get rid of some of these ends. It is optional, but I like to do it because I like a neat end. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will meet y'all back. And you can start anywhere. I usually like to start right in the middle. And I'm going to go with my dominant color. Chain one. I'm going to chain two, just so I can lock in this other one. And then single crochet in every stitch that you think is a stitch. That looks like an opening really. But you don't want to do too many, but you kind of want to make it tight so it can grip your head real good. So go into every little hole. And I'm just crocheting these tails in as I go. Then I go and cut them at the end. All right, I'm gonna do this all the way around until I get back to here, and then I will meet y'all back. All right, I have reached my last stitch, and now I'm just gonna join these two sides together, chain one and pull out the yarn. I just cut a tail for sewing. Let's pull that through. Now all you have to do is weave in your ends, and your hat is made. But if you are like me, you like sparkly hats, I have some pins that I got off of Amazon that I'm just going to add in random places. And just so it can give this effect. Now I'm not going to do the bow on this one because all it is this is 2 double crochet rows. And this is just a single crochet row. I mean a single double crochet row. So that's kind of easy. You can look up bow tutorials if you like. I'm just going to go ahead and put these on, and I'll come back when I'm done. All right, y'all, and I added my charms. I love them. And that is it. And thank y'all for watching this tutorial. Until the next one, bye.